Like the video and subscribe to our channel right now and get 1 week of amazing luck. From the most dangerous ice storm to a hot air balloon in the city to a closed shark encounter. Here are the 15 moments no one would believe it. Number 15. Low-flying plane. Residents of Nashville, Tennessee, were astounded to see a military plane fly so low to the ground in January 2019 that it appeared to skim across the tops of buildings and pass by the windows of my workplace. Hundreds of calls to the local authorities were made by astonished witnesses throughout its half-hour-long circle as they tried to figure out what was going on. Later, it was discovered that everything had been done as part of a practice flypast for the new governor's inauguration. However, without any previous notice and on what appeared to be a dangerous flight route, people were not amused. Nevertheless, it was amazing to observe the pilot's precise control, which demonstrated how maneuverable these jets are. The rehearsal and the anxiety it incited were ultimately infutile because the celebration flight was postponed due to inclement weather. Number 14. Hot air balloon in the middle of town. If you're on vacation in the area, Vic, a city in eastern Spain about an hour north of Barcelona, offers a 3.5-hour hot air balloon tour over the city. If you can get it that high, you'll be able to view gorgeous rolling landscapes all the way to Barcelona. Someone decided it would be a good idea to launch a hot air balloon in the midst of town on March 23, 2018. We're not experts, but shouldn't you avoid flying a hot air balloon near tall buildings? Vic, a city in eastern Spain approximately an hour north of Barcelona, provides a 3.5-hour hot air balloon tour over the city if you're on vacation there. You can see beautiful rolling vistas all the way to Barcelona if you can raise it that high. On March 23, 2018, someone thought it would be a good idea to fly a hot air balloon above the center of town. Although we aren't experts, shouldn't you steer clear of hot air ballooning near tall structures? Number 13. Earthquake in Japan. Chiba City is located about 25 miles east of Tokyo. Like the rest of Japan, Chiba City is prone to earthquakes on a regular basis. In actuality, Japan has the most annual earthquakes. Although they are undoubtedly accustomed to it by now, the impacts of the earthquake that occurred in Japan in September 2019 knocked one American resident of the country for a loop. Nobody else appeared very concerned when the ground started to fracture and the park began to flood. Think you're in the park going about your business when suddenly cracks appear all around you. If that wasn't horrible enough, think how you'd feel if the ground began to tremble as if it were about to give way at any moment. The pavement shouldn't be moving in this way. This phenomenon is known as ground liquefaction. It occurs when an earthquake or other type of disturbance weakens the stiffness and strength of the wet soil. This is because an earthquake can increase the water pressure in the soil, which in turn causes the soil particles to migrate. Imagine the harm that soil liquefaction may do if it took place underneath a heavy building or other structure. Another common example is quicksand. It won't suck you underground like in the movies, but it can cause severe damage to any structures on top of it. Number 12. The wet wedding. Wait a minute, it looks like this wedding ceremony has just begun. What a bold assertion. It seems that the wedding's best man took his obligations a little too seriously and wanted to up the ceremony's level of excitement by unintentionally dipping the bride into the pool. It's difficult to imagine the bride's astonishment when she stepped out of the pool and questioned whether there was some odd wedding tradition. Number 11. Burj Khalifa flight attendant. Imagine acting as if it's just another day at the office as the enormous Airbus A380 flies by while you're standing 830 meters above the ground at the very top of the tallest skyscraper ever built. In 2015, Emirates Airlines debuted an advertisement featuring a flight attendant seated atop the Burj Khalifa. The advertising was created with the intention of showcasing Everman's commitment to luxury and service as well as its connection to Dubai, the city where Burj Khalifa is located. The group that scaled the Burj Khalifa's spire had to leave the structure at the 160th floor after spending an hour ascending to the very top of the structure. The campaign's outstanding visuals and the bravery of the participating flight attendant both contributed to its enormous popularity and success. She was actually Nicole Smith Ludwig, a stunt performer and skydiving instructor. Nevertheless, it required a lot of courage. Number 10. Tiger vs. Safari. We all know about what a wild animal can do, and during safari rides, jungle officials always instruct us to maintain distance from this type of wild animal. But still, few people ignore all the warnings and cross the boundaries that are made for their own safety. The video opens to show a vehicle standing at the side of a jungle. A few people are heard asking the driver to get close to a tiger standing at a distance. At that very moment, the big cat comes closer to the vehicle and lunges at it. The tourists instantly start screaming, and eventually, the animal retreats back into the jungle. The video was shared on Twitter. Since being posted, the clip has accumulated more than 17,000 views, and the numbers are only increasing. Number 9. Jump from the edge of space. On October 14, 2012, witness its bomb gunner pull off the almost impossible act of leaping from the edge of space. He ascended to a height of 28,100 feet in a helium-filled balloon, at which point he left his spaceship and plummeted to Earth at a speed of more than 800 miles per hour. 1,290 kilometers, in total. During a 30-second period of uncontrollable spinning that happened during the descent, Baumgartner's life was in jeopardy. He did, however, restore composure and complete the last jump securely, landing in the desert of New Mexico. During that jump, a number of records were broken, including the highest manned balloon flight, the highest parachute jump, and the quickest free fall. As millions of people watched in wonder, Baumgartner first appeared as a speck in the sky before disappearing from view. It was an act of pure bravado to push the limits of human capability and to attempt the impossible. But it demonstrates what humans are capable of. To jump without encountering air resistance requires guts, and doing so from 40 kilometers in the air requires considerably more. Number 8. Thief Rat. In this video, Ratatouille gets caught on camera stealing a genuine diamond necklace from a showcase. Hopefully, it's for his wife and not some girl with whom he had a fleeting liaison. Nobody is sure if this necklace has ever been located, but with all the carats on it, he'll be able to win over even the most resilient rat chick. He might be the most wanted rat in India at the moment, so we just hope it was worth it. The going may be rough for the poor little fella there right now, but we have no idea if he has done this before. Number 7. Cat controls baseball game. During a baseball game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals, a cat intruder scampered onto the field. There, the fuzzy critter momentarily relieved the stress by avoiding capture and darting across the playing field. The spectators laughed and applauded as they watched the amusing scene, and the gang was temporarily stopped as the anxious cat rushed around the pitch. Darling Molina of the St. Louis Cardinals, eventually succeeded in catching the cat via pure athleticism. The season's starting catcher Molina swiftly picked up the cat and carefully carried it off the pitch. People in the audience started to applaud, and some even started chanting for Molina to be declared the game's most valuable player. The cat was subsequently given the nickname Rally Cat by admirers, and it immediately became well-known. As a result, the St. Louis Cardinals created a line of Rally Cat products. Despite the brief interruption, the game went on and the Cardinals prevailed. The Rally Cat incident is a prime example. Sports are known for their unexpected character and their capacity for humor in unforeseen circumstances. Number 6. Tank between car. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but a big cylinder that had detached from its support was hurtling through a parking lot. A 1 in a million occurrence occurred when it passed past two cars without causing any damage. Number 5. Kids walk in during live BBC. This particular interview is one of those instances that people keep bringing up. Robert Kelly, a professor of political science, discussed the political climate in South Korea in a live interview on BBC News in 2017. It was comical to watch Kelly's scared expression as he battled to retain his cool as his daughter danced around the room as his infant boy and a walker simultaneously entered the room. His wife quickly entered the room in an attempt to distract the kids from the interview, but they had other plans. His daughter continued to dance and whirl for the camera as his son paced the room on his walker. Kelly and his family briefly became famous online after the video went viral. It remains one of the funniest live TV moments ever. Number 4. Dangerous Drummer. I'm sure some of you have already watched this video. Brennan Kulowski, a percussionist at the University of Virginia, is the bass drummer. A video shows Kowalski striking the bass drum in the orchestra as usual, but this particular day would be different. In fact, it was among the funniest videos we've ever seen. One almost expects something to happen as Kowalski bangs the drum twice, but nothing happens. He strikes the drum once while concentrating on maintaining the perfect rhythm. His drumstick starts to shoot out of his skull like a Tomahawk cruise missile as he hits the drum 3 times. The woman lying in bed is directly in the path of the drumstick. She receives a direct hit and is fully thrown off her seat. Kowalski stands around unsure of what to do as Daisy, the female band member, leaves the stage looking bewildered and ashamed. We don't know what happened next, but it might have entailed an irate band member and the sharing of private information. Number 3. Rescued from pirates. In 2009, Somali pirates assaulted the cargo ship MV Maersk Alabama, which was flying the American flag, off the coast of Somalia. The language used by these pirates, such as, "shiver me timbers," was not pleasant. While the crew took over the ship, Richard Phillips, the captain, was held captive on a lifeboat. Again, the guided missile destroyer U.S. Bainbridge and other ships were sent on a rescue mission by the U.S. Navy in response. After several days of negotiations, the pirates threatened to assassinate Phillips, which spurred the Navy SEALs to take action. The Navy SEALs launched a rescue operation on April 12, 2009, by leaping from a C-17 plane into the ocean and boarding the destroyer. The SEALs pretended that their snipers were concealed on the stern of the U.S. Bainbridge when the pirates asked to be towed after their gasoline ran out. When the pirates became visible, the snipers fired a synchronized shot that killed all 3. They had gradually lowered the length of the tow line to give the SEALs a shot. This was accomplished with the pirates on a second rolling lifeboat and the moon rolling ship. It seems like the most unlikely shot could be made by 3 people at once, but it was successful. The fact that Captain Phillips was saved while the pirates were not shown how beneficial military training can be for individuals like Captain Phillips. Number 2. Russian soldier catches 2 bombs. A video that had gone viral on social media shows the terrifying moments when a Ukrainian drone dropped grenades on a Russian soldier, who grabbed the grenades and threw them away before they exploded. A Ukrainian drone purportedly captured the footage of an injured Russian soldier hiding in a trench. The video shows grenades descending from the drone and landing on the alleged Russian soldier. A grenade hits his back in the first strike but does not detonate. He grabs the grenade and tosses it away. He is seen crouching in the trench when a second grenade falls near his hands. The soldier again throws it away, and it explodes a few meters away. The third grenade landed a few meters away and exploded, but the soldier was unharmed. Nonetheless, the video is barely 40 seconds long. It does not show whether the drone made more attempts to target the Russian soldier or whether he successfully escaped the Ukrainian drone strike. However, according to many claims, the incident occurred in the spring, and the Russian soldier survived. Many Twitter users claimed the violent and unsettling footage highlights the dangers Russian personnel face on the battleground. Number 1. Tornado on camp. A little village in eastern Kansas called Bonner Springs was hit by an EF4 tornado on May 28, 2019. Although Bonner Springs is geographically outside of Tornado Alley, USA, it nonetheless experiences its fair share of severe storms. When a local saw the tornado coming, he thought it would be the ideal time to attach his GoPro to a metal pole. His amateur time-lapse video demonstrates how rapidly the weather can deteriorate. At first, everything appears peaceful, but as the wind picks up, the trees begin to bend, and the tornado begins to take shape in the distance. A lovely day turns into a dark sky as the clouds gather and you can hear the strong wind slapping at the GoPro. After a few more seconds, everything turns gray and all that is left of the blue is a little sliver off to the right side of the footage. When the tornado moves over the GoPro, we hardly see anything. Despite rattling and shaking, it manages to remain attached to the metal pole, and debris can be seen flying all around it. GoPro put up a brave fight, but the tornado ultimately prevailed. Through Douglas County, Kansas, the storm traveled roughly 31 miles, expanding to about a mile in breadth and reaching wind gusts of up to 170 miles per hour.